I'm so happy today to have Podcast Salem. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Jorge and Alan, thanks for coming, guys. Thanks for making the trip from Salem.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having us.
Um, yeah, I'm always curious, people coming in here from out of town, like, just what was it like driving in? Did you see anything crazy? Was it pleasant? Was it not pleasant? What was your experience driving in today?
Um, I mean, I think it was good. It's not a lot of traffic right now at this time, so
Yeah,
pretty good about that.
sunny day.
Yeah, it's sunny. Sunny day. Kind of just makes you want to drive too, so might as well. But it was
Yeah.
good.
Okay. What are your do you make it up to Portland pretty frequently, or?
I'd say we do know
Yeah,
here
pretty
and there.
often.
Yeah, here and there we do go to Portland Timbers games. Let's see what else. Yeah, hang out sometimes.
Be like once every few weeks or something, or
Yeah, at least once or twice a month at
Yeah.
least.
okay.
Pre-COVID, we used to come up here a lot more often. And then after COVID happened, I think we didn't come up here for a couple years.
After COVID,
After
yeah.
COVID, and then now I think we're coming up here a little bit more often.
Nice.
But we used to go out on the weekends up here pretty often.
Nice. That makes sense. Yeah, tell people real quick about your podcast and like how you got started doing it and all that stuff.
So I've known Jorge for a while, and it was just an idea that I had. Um, I know that there's a lot of talent in our community. And I personally, I've watched a lot of podcasts, and Jorge never really watched podcasts, but I really like the idea of having a podcast within our community in Salem, just to showcase the amount of talent that we have in our community. Now there's a lot more in town, a lot more podcasts.
Really?
Yeah, now there is, but before there wasn't. So I thought that it would be cool for us to create a platform where we could show just people that are hustling in the town, and just to show people that if these kind of people are making it in our community, so can you, that
Yeah.
was like the idea with it.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate the format. It's really similar to what I was trying to do up here and in the Northwest, of just because like you guys have such a wide range of people, but that's what I try to do. It's like business owners, interesting, like just people who do different things. I don't know. I like the variety of like occupations that people have in the Northwest, and you guys have a lot of variety of that. But I was curious too, like, was it always, do you always want it to be a video podcast? Because for me, I'm like, I have to do video. I don't know if it's the podcast that I watch or whatever, but
Yeah,
I
it
think
has
so.
to be video. I always wanted video. And I think we had talked about uploading our stuff on audio only, but I've never really watched any audio only podcasts. So I'm like, I just don't think that would
yeah.
that would hit.
Well, you can't watch.
What?
You can't watch audio.
No, I've never listened. I've never listened to audio. I've never listened to audio podcasts.
No,
I mean, it just
Okay,
not interesting.
I get
It's
it.
not
I get
interesting
it.
to
It's
me.
like I never watched it.
But,
But you can't.
I'm the same way though. Like audio only ones is really rare for me to even listen to them. I have to like watch it. I don't know what it is about it, but I like that you guys do that. And that was one of the things that how I found you. And I was gonna say, I'm jealous of your set. We were talking a second ago, because like I've made a couple different podcast sets, and I love the neon kind of lights that you guys have, and it looks like a bar or something. Is it in a bar, or is it that's just the intention?
No, we
Yeah.
have no. It's just a small room, a studio, and
Okay.
just a small regular room. But the neon lights were his idea, because I don't know, how'd you come up with that?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I just know we needed some lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like color, so I was like, maybe let's add a little bit of color because we have the red background already. Add color. So yeah.
I like it. Yeah, I was gonna say, what are some of the, sorry, I'm just looking at my things here. Is there like a wildest moment or a just favorite moment that stand out from you guys on the show so far? How long have you been doing it, by the way? A couple years?
Yeah.
A little bit over 2
Yeah,
years.
a little over 2 years.
That's probably about
Yeah.
the same that I've been doing this.
Yeah. Our first year was a little different. Our first year we had speaking of the background and stuff, we had a different background. That's when we first started. We had a green background with some black lines because he was supposed to paint like the city, but that never happened.
Do you do like mural stuff?
No, he does.
Nah, I was supposed to paint it, but it never happened. I guess I wasn't feeling the color or anything. I'm like, dude, our second year we gotta change it up. So we changed up the red background or the green to red, added some, floating shelves, little bit more decor, and then just did the neon lights. We got the what do you call it, lightsabers or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the beam, those single
Yeah.
tube lights.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
have them
those
on
are
the
cool.
corners. Then we got the main sign. The main sign.
No, because as you've seen in our studio, we just have a wall right behind us.
Mhm.
And I had seen online on I think it was probably on Google. I saw this guy that on his studio, because downtown Salem's not very big. I mean, I don't know how many streets do you think? Maybe 10 streets, if
Yeah,
that.
something.
10 streets long. So on his wall, he had like lines outlining the downtown of
Oh yeah.
his area, and it looked really clean. So I had showed him, and he's like, I could do that, but he just never
Never
finished the
happened. Never
project.
happened.
I
It's-
totally know what you mean though. You're talking about like it's like a white outline or something like that, or
Exactly.
I think his
Yeah,
was black
yeah.
outline, but yeah,
it's like that thin
No,
line.
it
Yeah,
was white
exactly.
outline.
Was
It
it
was
white
like
outline?
a darker tone, more of a darker setting, and like I think the lights were like warm, like yellowish,
Mhm.
and two chairs, and then the background just had the map of the city, all white, and
That's
then kind of
cool.
like the name,
Yeah.
very simple, not
Yeah, it was
over,
very simple.
not like very detailed, and looked pretty clean. But that vibe was a little different, so I think when we did it, it just I didn't like it personally, and then so I changed it up. And then we
Maybe
got this.
you didn't like it because you never saw the finished product.
Maybe. And then I ordered that sign. That sign, there's these people down in Mexico City that I've been following on Instagram. I like their work. I noticed when they started they probably had like 2,000 followers, and this guy just started doing like, that type of frame with lights, and I'm like, oh, I like it. Next thing you know, he's like 100,000 followers, and
Damn.
I'm like, hey man, I want to make this. Can you make it? He's like, yeah, I'll ship it to you. Boom, ships it out, and
Nice.
ever since we've had that sign. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, at some point, like I was saying a second ago, I've never said this on the show, but I'm trying to make a second set, and hopefully it'll be way more. I was intended to just be like have neon and stuff in here,
Mhm.
but this is all just like my extra money that I have.
Yeah.
Like, so I haven't spent a lot of money on it. But I'm jealous, like I said. Sorry, I'm looking at this again. Yeah, tell me a little bit about. You just mentioned like the downtown Salem area. I remember going there. Like I said a few minutes ago to you guys, like I used to go to the governor's mansion and all that stuff to like film for the news up
Mm.
here. But I remember going downtown there at one of those trips, and there was like some crazy like candy store or something like that.
Yeah.
But just tell me about like, because I don't know much about Salem. That was one time. I also had a time when I was going on I-5 South to my old hometown of Grants Pass, and my car broke down in Salem. So those are like my two like memories, and it's kind of shitty, I guess. But just tell me about it. Or no, the other thing was when I was 18, I went to the McNary High School Film Festival when I was like in high school, and
Oh,
I
wow.
won like the
Yeah.
second place or something. But
Nice,
those are my
nice.
Salem memories,
Oh.
and
I coach at McNary soccer.
really,
Yeah, assistant coach.
nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. You know what I've noticed? I noticed that people from Portland never go to Salem, which is like, I don't go
There
there.
it-
Which
there-
is, I don't know. It's
There's
interesting.
an attitude up here that's kind of like not that great, but I think it's cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like
I
it's
guess
the capital. It's
I guess just
pretty big
because it's a
city.
bigger city in Portland, but as far as I know, people from Salem, they go to Portland all the time. Not
Yeah.
all the time, but that's like a common thing. Oh, we're going to Portland. We're going to Portland.
Yeah.
But people from Portland, I noticed that they're like, I've never been to Portland. But yeah, I mean, nothing bad. It's just interesting that. I mean,
And
you
it's
guys have it
only
all here, though. That's the
40
thing.
minutes away or something, right?
Yeah, I guess there's no need for you to go to Salem.
Well, that's what I'm trying to find
Yeah.
out. What are the hot spots in
There's
Salem?
there's a few good spots. What would you say would be good?
Yeah, I guess people in Portland don't have a need to go to Salem.
Well, I mean, I think
There's some
I
cool
feel like
shit.
you have it all, but
'Cause, I mean, you think about it. The
Mhm.
reasons. I mean, you guys have the malls up here. We don't really have malls anymore in Salem.
nah,
Really?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
They're all closed up.
they're all closed up.
It's
Um,
they call Salem like a big small city, I guess, kind of like that. People that don't want the larger, vibe,
Yeah.
but still want that vibe, but in a smaller way.
Mhm.
That candy store's actually next to an antique shop right there.
mhm.
That's where we have our Pokemon actually, and that antique mall. I think it's the Oregon's largest antique mall.
Mhm.
It's
Okay.
got 2 stories, so it's got like it
there,
used to
yeah.
have up to 80 vendors. Now it has like about 60. Because they had
Okay. And you have a little booth with the
It's
Pokemon
booths.
in there?
it's booths.
That's awesome.
So I think they just so we were actually there with them. They celebrated their 40th anniversary for that business. It's been up since what 1980 or whatever the 40 years is.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting. A lot of people do go there. right next to that's the candy place. It's
Yeah.
all candy. All I mean, I used to go there a lot with my daughter when she was younger. And then there's a lot of other restaurants that just opened up too, right? Adobe restaurant,
Yeah, that
which is
just
pretty
opened up.
upscale, which is Latin, something like that.
Nice. Yeah, I was. I'll have the thing later at the end too about. I was asked people about like recommended restaurants. I'll get into that maybe a little bit later. But I'm curious now about the Pokemon stuff. Let's get into that
Hmm.
because, like, I have never collected the cards, but I, uh, grew up as a millennial, I guess, and I had like I think it was Pokemon Red or Blue. I can't remember which color it was,
Yeah, yeah.
but I played the old school Game Boy version. But tell me about like how you know, is the card collection thing kind of at its peak? Is it still growing? Like, it just seems like it's insane. Like, there's so much value in those cards, and
What do you
Well,
think?
as far as I know, it comes in waves. I think when was the last time this happened? For
2000,
2021,
2019, 20.
okay,
And then it the true collectors or people that have been in the hobby obviously understand, but right now everybody that's not even into Pokemon are into Pokemon because they see well, I'm trying to flip or whatever.
mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you've seen videos people going to Costco or fighting for boxes and stuff like that.
Sure, yeah,
Right now everybody's hyped about it, but once it's down, you're gonna see the people that still collect or
right,
still been doing what they've been doing. But right now it's at its peak.
okay,
I think maybe this summer and it drops, right? I would say.
Yeah, but it's not going to be too long. This happened in 2021 during COVID because there's been a drought of like Pokemon cards. You'll go in at
mm-hmm.
Walmart, Target, Best Buy, and usually the shelves are stocked pretty good. But for the last, what, 6, 8 months, you
Uh-huh.
can't find anything. The shelves are
Really.
empty. And
So how do they? Is there like a cycle to the cards, or is it just random when they put out?
well,
Like,
no, there's a cycle. I mean, every store has like a different delivery date of the week, delivery day of the week. But scalpers know
right?
like the dates. So, I mean, they're in line
They're just
and
waiting. Yeah.
they're just waiting, and they'll stand in line for hours waiting for that. So, I mean, people that like work during the day. I mean, you can't go and get those cards. I mean, the scalpers are
Right.
the ones that are getting those.
But as
Um,
far as like new cards, you know what I'm saying? Like when they put out new, I don't even know what they are,
New
characters.
sets.
They
Yeah.
come up
Yeah.
with new sets.
Like when did they do that? Is it every year or is it
Every
like
like 3 to 4 months, I think.
okay?
Yeah, I would say like
Yeah. So just for example, the biggest set came out in January
Mm-hmm.
of this year, and then when was last month? So last month, or what was it? This month? Last month another set came out, and then in May another set's gonna come out. So that's three already. So three, and it's already May. So
Okay.
once
That's a
we hit
lot.
May,
Yeah. Yeah.
after that it's probably another 2 months, and another set comes out.
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
In a given set, like what's the most? I guess it probably fluctuates, but like what's the most valuable card in there? Is it like
It fluctuates because
$1,000 or something?
every set has different characters, and it all depends on the chase card of that one specific character.
Okay.
So the last set, the one that came out in January, has been the most expensive set that has been out in a really long time.
Okay.
So the chase card, the top card, I think if you just pull it out, it's like $1,500, $1,600.
Oh my god.
Now you get the card graded depending on the condition of the card. PSA, I'm not sure if you're familiar with PSA, but they will grade the cards, and when you send them in, they'll grade it somewhere between 1 and 10. A 10 is going to be a pristine card. And that PSA 10, I don't even remember, but I think it was selling for like,
It was up there, man.
I don't remember.
I
I
don't
don't even
remember
remember,
now.
but I think it was like, I think it was over $3,000-$4,000
Oh
for a
man.
PSA 10.
And that's because, yeah, I was actually going to ask you about the grading and all that, and even like counterfeits, because I know, is that why the grading came out? Was part of like counterfeits, and also just, I guess, you have to have some condition, like rating the condition of the cards.
So the condition of the cards are crazy. Some sets, like when they're printing the cards, they just have a lot of mistakes within that printing
Okay.
time,
Defects or whatever.
defects and
Yeah.
stuff. Uh, Sometimes specific sets come out very unaligned. The characters are kind of sideways or something like that. So those
Interesting.
are not going to get a pristine grade. They're going to have like little dings here and there. So obviously the one that's best aligned, the one that has no scuffs on it. Because I mean, back in the day when we were kids, we used to play with the cards. They used to have a bunch of scratches and stuff on
Sure.
them.
Yeah.
I mean, those are gonna get really really bad grades, so it's not even worth sending them to get graded. But it's just as a collector, you want to have like the best ones. But I mean, it just depends what you're collecting. There's some people that collect old school cards, but they don't care what the grade is. So as long as it's slabbed up, it just looks nice. So if they get like a PSA 1 or a PSA 2, they'll buy it just for cheap, just because they want to have that in their
Right.
collection.
Just as a collector,
Just
as a
as a
But
purist or whatever.
but I think what you're asking is, I think it all started with people wanting what would you say, authenticity
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
card.
yeah,
So like I can't think back, because when we were growing up, like I'm a 90s guy, right? He's
yeah.
a 2000 kid. So when I was growing up, there was no grade, right?
Right.
And you would just trade, buy, or whatever scenario was, but there was no social media. There wasn't a big market as it is, or easier access to everything. But I think why it started was to make sure you're buying something that's legit,
Mhm.
not a knockoff, not a fake. Because I mean, at the end of the day, that is what it is. I think with the culture and pop culture, or generations now, I think it's more like, oh, I just want to, like you said, I want to have on the slap, they call it the slap, right? A 1 or a 2 or a 3. It just makes it look cool. It's authentic. It just looks nice. But I think it started with the whole, is this legit or not?
Right. Yeah,
And
because
so.
I know the only thing I know about that is like I still have like a small old Sega Genesis collection, and they'll do the same for old cartridges for video
Mm,
games, because it's like it's pretty easy to make like a plastic fake cartridge, but they'll do the same thing. They'll have like in a plastic case like the graded cartridges and stuff, and they'll give you like a out of 10 rating of it and all this stuff. I've never had any of mine graded, but I just always found it really interesting that there's all these side industries like that pop up because of collectors,
mhm.
and it's really cool. I was curious too, though. Like one of the reasons I was asking about that, because I'm gonna have my friend on here who's like, I've been trying to get him on for. He's like a old Navajo friend of mine that I grew up with, but he collects, I think, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Mhm.
So I'm always curious, like how these, because I know there's, or no, he might actually be Magic or something. But like, how does it compare with like Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh? Are they competing for like the more valuable
I,
cards, or is it always
we're not into Magic, but I think Magic is bigger than Pokemon.
okay?
Um, I've heard of more expensive Magic cards than Pokemon cards. There's just so much to Magic. It's crazy.
Well, the game too is
That's what I'm talking
pretty
about. Yeah,
complex.
It's
it's
Yeah,
it's.
it's very
I think
complicated.
people who like Magic are more like hardcore enthusiasts for the game.
right.
And there's a lot. I think there's really expensive cards there. I don't know.
For
We don't know
sure.
anything about Magic, but I've heard that. Let's say you tell someone you're a collector, or you like Pokemon, and there's a Magic guy. They like, oh shit, like, yeah, it's like a,
Yeah, I know
yeah.
it's like totally different. It's just interesting too that there's I think in all those it seems like there's people that play the game and then there's people that just collect.
Mm-hmm.
And like, do you guys play the Pokemon game at all, or do you just
Mm.
collect? Okay,
I never played it. Well, we tried playing it once. Remember with Chris at my house? Yeah, it was a long time. It
I
was
don't know.
like
I
it was
wasn't
probably like
there. I
10
don't know
years.
what
It
you're
was
talking
like
about.
it was probably like 10 years. I don't know anything about the game. I've always liked collecting since I was a kid. The 1999, you go to Walmart, you buy it for $3-4, and
Mhm.
you just see what you got, and you're like, oh, nice, and you just put them in the binder. But
Yeah.
never played the game. But yeah. But
Oh,
going back to that Magic thing, everybody that, if you tell someone Magic, I like Pokemon, they're like, oh, that's not a real game. Like they just hate on you.
Yeah.
yeah. I could see that. I guess
Yeah.
it does seem like one is like way complex. Not that I even like. I don't really like those kind of games, but
Hmm.
whenever I see like Magic, it's like you have this. There's like 12 like stacked decks, and then
Hmm.
you're like moving the cards around and stuff. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I don't know,
It's too
man.
much for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have they have a show in Portland at the Lloyd Center,
Mhm.
and I don't know, it's every couple of weeks or something like that, once a month.
For
And
all cards. Or,
well, it is technically for all cards, but see, when we started going there like 4 years ago, it was all sports cards, football and basketball,
because that's
all
been
sports
popping off
cards.
too, right?
That for a long
Yeah.
time. But and we were really into Pokemon, so when we went, there was only like 2 or 3 Pokemon vendors, and they didn't have very much stuff.
Hmm.
So now we just went there last weekend, and it was mostly Pokemon, and then there was like 3 or 4 sports vendors.
Okay.
So
It's
like
kind of
it just
shifting.
completely changed. But every now and then you'll see like a Yu-Gi-Oh person that sells Yu-Gi-Oh. I've never seen anyone that sells Magic there. Have you?
No.
So they must have like their own thing somewhere else
Yeah.
that were like trading events, because I know there's a lot of Magic people. I think Magic is bigger than Pokemon.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious about that because I don't collect any of that stuff, but I think it's interesting and yeah, even the sports thing. I was surprised when that like pop. I think it was during COVID that kind of popped up again, right? The sports card.
Mm-hmm.
Because I still have a few like Michael Jordan cards and stuff. I think it's only worth like $25, but what are the old ones like Upper Deck and
Upper Deck,
all
Yeah.
those old Fleet. What's it called?
Fleet.
Yeah,
Fleets, right?
all
Yeah.
those. Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys know.
Yo.
Yeah.
It's just funny to think that came back, but that's cool. I was also gonna ask like when you kept saying slab, is that the big plastic thing? Or
No, the PSA, the slab is when it's in what is
That could be it, but it's just the smaller one. The
Okay.
plastic one you're talking about is probably for video games or magazines.
it's like a see-through.
when
Yep,
Yeah.
when
that's-
it's the plastic is what they call a slab.
Okay.
So when they grade it and they put that in that plastic, it's slabbed.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And that's mainly what you guys store your cards in,
No,
or
it's
the books, or
It's in the books, but they call them a top loader. So it's just a little
Sleeves.
sleeve.
okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Slab is when you have to pay for it, right? So let's say you get a card, and is it really worth it for you to go get it graded? Because right now it's what, $18-$20
That's what I was just gonna ask.
per
how much
card.
Yeah.
So let's say I have 6,
With
10,
a minimum
20,
of 20 cards.
or
at the
minimum
they got a
20
minimum.
cards.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And so then you add it up, and some people are charging $30 per card.
I mean, that's got to be hundreds of dollars. Yeah.
And so you're not, you send them off to send them back. Is it worth it? Let's say that card, it's only worth $10. Are you really going to spend $30 to get it graded? Like, it just doesn't make sense unless you really want that grade and you want to keep it for collecting.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Hmm.
but
And how is it? Is there like an inventory? Do most people just do it like on their own, or is there like software or something? Because if you have like, I don't know, hundreds or thousands of cards, like how do you track the value or is it just you just have them like in a binder?
There's apps. There's a couple different apps that you can look things on. eBay is huge.
eBay, yeah.
A lot of people go by last sold eBay listing.
Okay.
But things change so much. They change really fast. With 1 month things can be really high, and then the next month they could drop.
it's
And
just the
yeah,
market. So it
it's
goes
a
up and
market
down.
drop.
You might
Right.
have a card right now that's worth $200. And, in the next month, it could be like 170, 160, right? And then maybe the other month could be 140, and then you never know. It usually goes up and down.
Fluctuates,
Yeah.
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 And there's not like because I know I had a friend who's into Legos, and there was like, I forget what it's called, there's like some website that's like Bricktown or something. I don't know what it's called, but is there something like that that'll show you? Because I remember the old Beckett magazine. You remember that? It'll tell you is there something like that for all cards or Pokemon? Or
There's
but
so
like
many.
you said, it's just eBay.
There's so many different apps, but all these apps, at the end of the day, they get their info from eBay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So it's all just eBay.
So
all just
it's all
eBay.
it just all goes to eBay. It's just preference, I guess, right? I mean, you might be maybe the first time you use that app, you liked it, and that's all you use, and you're familiar with it, and it's easy. But it all goes to eBay sales.
eBay and TCG.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a sale site?
Yeah, TCG.com. Yeah, that I think it's mostly Pokemon, but all the apps that you'll find for Pokemon, they either go last sold listing on TCG or sold listing on eBay.
Okay. It makes sense. That's like where you get the actual pricing, I guess.
Mhm.
And how did you guys do the giveaway already, or is that coming up?
For the you talking about the barbershop one?
Yeah.
No, we gave them a booster box. So that box contains 36 packs,
Okay.
and every pack has like 6-7 cards in it. Basically, he just wanted it so any kid that goes in there gets a haircut, he'll record it,
Sure.
they'll pick up a pack since Pokemon's hot right now.
That's
So
cool. Yeah.
he's had a lot of hype, he's had a lot of success with it. A lot of
Mhm.
people like it. It's just another thing that he's trying to
Yeah,
have an
get some
experience for
business
everybody,
and
get business
It's
and
fun. Yeah.
networking, and it's fun for the kids. You
Yeah.
know?
I bet they love
So,
it.
but
This
it's
guy gets excited with cards. Imagine little kids.
I know. No, I've seen like people, like friends of mine with kids, and literally they'll be in the car just after getting it, they'll just tear those packs open and just like
Mhm.
see what's in there.
Mhm.
It's so funny. But yeah, I'm always interested to learn about that stuff. Yeah, and tell me about being faded and just it just seems like a cool place. I was gonna joke like I have a friend who has a salon over here, and she's always like making fun of me. She's like, "I'm not gonna cut mullets." Like she says, she won't cut mullets. But
Yeah.
like, I really like. Is it what is it technically? A barbershop? What do you call it?
It's a
It's a
barbershop.
barbershop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they'll do hair, beards, and all that stuff.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And do one of you guys are you one of you guys involved with it, or it's a friend of yours or something? Or?
So we're both involved with
Oh,
with
nice.
him. So
Nice.
um we've always gone to the same barber. He's always cut our hair. And when we started the podcast, we asked him if he wanted to sponsor us. So he is our main
Oh,
sponsor.
nice. Okay.
So we we help him with videos. He comes out in our videos. We always try to have like promotional things with him, and he just gives us haircuts. But we're really picky about our hair. We always have the same barber. We don't go with different barber. Well, you cheat on him sometimes.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean he's okay with it, but I'm not. I will wait. I will wait to get my hair cut. But there's a couple other good guys that cut hair in his shop too, and he'll sometimes if Aaron doesn't have time, he'll go with the other guys too,
Okay.
for sure.
And how long has that been going? The barbershop.
With the bar, he's
He
been
actually,
busy for like.
I think it's almost it's a little over 2 years now. Yeah, he
Okay.
opened up his own shop, almost when we started our podcast. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Around the
been
same time.
yeah,
Yeah.
around the same time. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
seems good timing post COVID after
Yeah.
things open up again. You can open that, do
Yeah.
people's
Yeah.
hair. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's been there for 3 years, but it's good. It's been a good collab. He's our sponsor, so like sometimes we take him with us, or we go to his events, or whatever the scenario is, and we shoot content for him or whatever, hand on hand. But it's everyone's just trying to come up or make a brand. So
Have
it's
you
been
guys
good.
ever done a? I've always wanted to do. There is a podcast. I forget what it's called. Something cuts, fresh cuts, or something. But have you ever done an episode? I wanted to do one on here where I had a guy or girl come in and cut my hair on the
Mm-hmm.
show. Have you guys done something like that?
So we did a couple videos with him. Did we post it?
We
I know
did.
we
We
made it
did. We
into a
I feel
did.
like I've
clip.
seen some clips
We
of it.
we did
Yeah.
clips, but on our YouTube, because we have a YouTube. On our YouTube, we did they were cutting our hair, and we were just talking about
Yeah, yeah.
our barber stuff. Like, hey, so what do you do? Like, what do you think about when people do this, or what's the craziest haircut you've done, and little things like that.
Did we post it?
We
Did we
did.
just do
Mhm.
clips? I don't
We
remember because
posted
I
it.
think we had a hard time with the audio with that
We
because the
post
machines were so
This-
loud.
Yeah, the scissors or whatever.
No,
the
I think
buzzers.
I messed up on that one because our camera, we got the little Rode mics,
Yeah,
the little
lapels or
wireless.
whatever, yeah.
I didn't connect the actual camera
Oh, that's
to
what
the
it was.
transmitter.
Okay.
Okay.
So you could hear the audio, but it's not clear. If we
Yeah.
would have had the actual connection, it would have been fine. But that was just a rookie mistake, honestly.
It's all good. Happens.
But we do have one. It's about I wouldn't say an hour, 45 minutes long.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
They're cutting our hair, both of us at the same time, and the camera just switches and like, hey, so
Totally, yeah.
what got you into barbering, stuff like that, and
You're talking to the barber.
we're talking to
yeah.
a barber. Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's pretty much exactly what I was, picturing. Except I think the ones I've seen, they do it the other way. Like the only one I'm thinking of is they do it with Tom Brady,
mm-hmm.
and it's just some guy talking to him while he's
Mhm.
cutting his hair. It seems kind of complicated because it's like, I don't know. I have a hard enough time interviewing just doing this,
Mm-hmm.
but like if you're like getting
Yeah.
your hair cut or cutting hair, it seems difficult.
But I think that's what they do though, because anytime you go get a haircut at a barber shop, a lot of the times
they're
they're talking. And
yeah.
you know what? The culture. I feel like it comes back to that movie. What is it called in the 90s? The Barbershop or
Barbershop.
Friday or Barbershop,
Yeah,
right?
there's 1 and 2. I think Barbershop.
Yeah, right. 1 and 2. So it's like the whole. I mean, I'm growing up when I saw that. And it's nothing new, but for me at the time it was. Maybe it's been for years.
Yeah.
In the East Coast, right? But all they're doing is just joking around and talking and getting a haircut, and they're talking to their coworker. And
Totally,
they're just
yeah.
there. I think that's the vibe that movie just brought to barbershops.
Yeah.
Kind
kind
of
of a little
exposed more.
community
Exactly.
discussion in there.
So for them, I feel like it's normal to talk. I mean, even if we're not recording, they're talking to us. So just
Yeah.
do small talk instead of just being silent for like 40 minutes.
You reminded me of, I was going to ask, I've never asked this random question before, but can you guys both remember the first movie you seen in a movie theater when you were growing up?
I can.
Okay.
You can?
Yeah, I can.
What?
It was a bad
Lion
story.
King? Oh, you weren't even born, no?
Nah, dude.
It was a bad story, is that what you said?
Yeah. No, I remember the first time that I went into a movie theater was for my birthday, and my aunt was gonna take me to a movie theater, and uh I was supposed to watch the first Spider-Man movie,
Yeah.
dude.
Okay.
That's how long ago it was.
Tobey Maguire.
And then I remember that my cousins were giving me a hard time about it. They were a little bit older,
Mhm.
and they were gonna go watch the Star Wars movie, and uh, and then at that point, I didn't want to watch Spider-Man anymore, so I went in to watch Star Wars, and that movie scared the shit out of me, dude.
Yeah.
Which one? Which Star Wars? Is it?
I have no idea, but it was
It's
when
gotta be
Spider-Man 1 came out, so it was like what 2001,
2007
Episode
or
one?
1?
2001, I think,
Yeah.
or
I think
2000 maybe.
it was probably either episode 1 or 2. That's my guess.
I have no idea. But yeah, that was the first movie I
Okay.
watched in the movie
Okay.
theater.
Can you remember it all?
Nah, dude. I can't even remember the movie I watched 2 weeks ago. And I go to movies pretty quite frequently. So
Okay. I don't go that much anymore. It's weird. Like I still get weirded out where you have to pick your seats before. You know.
Oh, I don't like that.
Mm.
Yeah, that's
I'm used
new.
to the old school way of doing it.
Mhm.
Actually, I got used to that. I mean,
But
there's a certain age that you don't go to the movies just because you just don't go to the movies.
Yeah.
But I go because of my daughter and my wife.
Totally,
you know, so we got the pass. We
Dude,
go to
you're
movies
just a
all the
freaking
time.
Grinch, dude.
We go. I didn't go to the movies before, but we've gone to so many movies for the past 2 years. I don't even know which one's the last one, but we watched
Just
pretty much all of them.
something fun to do.
Yeah, it's fun, and I don't know. I never saw myself going to movie theaters all the time, but I mean, when you have kids, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
that's
yeah.
different. I think that's different, but yeah, I
Okay.
don't remember, man. I
That's
don't
well. I was
remember.
saying we might almost be the same age. I'm almost 40. I was like
40? A
born
little
in
bit.
the 80s, and I'm pretty sure. And I don't know how people feel that. I'm pretty sure my first movie was Little Mermaid. I think.
Little Mermaid.
I don't know though.
yeah.
I was probably like 5 years old, so it's hard to remember.
I don't even know which one I went. Honestly, man.
You didn't have a childhood, dude.
I didn't.
I do also remember seeing the first Jurassic Park, and I was terrified of that movie. I was like
Yeah.
7 years old.
Yeah, but I've watched those movies, but it wasn't at the movie theater. It was just
VHS.
Yeah,
or,
VHS.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna at some point. I'm gonna try to do with a friend of mine who makes hip hop here a VHS episode where like he brings in his favorite tapes because I still have some, but I want to do that with just old like 80s movies and stuff.
Oh,
Both
okay.
into
Yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of scene, but yeah,
Exactly.
I just thought of that question this morning. All right, tell me about the juice cleanse. You did it, right?
He didn't want to. He was scared.
Nah, yeah.
He gets hangry, so he's like, "Nah, I'm not gonna
I'd
do
be
the juice
probably
cleanse."
scared too because I've heard.
Scared of what?
I want to hear the journey. Like, is it flushes you out, right? Is that the
Yeah.
And that's
No,
good, but
I thought it was gonna be bad. I thought I was gonna have like the shits.
Totally,
and
that's what
stuff.
I mean,
But
yeah.
no, I didn't, and it was mentally hard.
yeah.
The first day was the hardest. The second day got easier, and the third day was not that bad. But
And you're doing no food,
no food,
right?
just water and the juice. But they give you a schedule of what juices to take, and then they tell you what time you have to take the juices.
Okay.
And I would be like, I'm about to give up. I'm gonna get food. I'm freaking starving. And then I would just be like, I'm gonna drink this next juice, and then I'm gonna see how I feel. But I would drink that next juice, and then it would make me feel better. I would like, it would take my hunger away. So every time that I just felt weak, I would just tell myself like, no, just drink the next juice, and then we'll see how we feel. We'll take it one step at a time. But no, I mean, after, like I said, after having that next juice, then it would take the hunger away, and then I would just feel a lot better. But yeah, it was the first day was really rough, but after that it was fine.
Okay. And was that a collab? I know you guys have done something with like a juice bar. Was that part of
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Um,
And she offers that
yeah,
service? Like
yeah.
the-
She offers that. There's different programs. I don't remember if it was a 1 day juice cleanse. I think it was like a 1 day, and then also a 3 day,
Okay.
and then I
5.
think, was it 5 or 7? Something
kind of
like
as
that.
long as you want to
Yeah,
go.
yeah, but I mean, some people go with no food for a really long time.
Yeah.
Like they don't even drink juice. They literally fast. I don't know if it's for like health reasons or religion reasons, but there's some people that won't eat for several days at a time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if they can not eat for several days at a time and I'm getting juice, I'm like, I'll be fine.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen people do I think it was the juice one for maybe like 7 days, I want to say.
That's
7
crazy.
days,
or
yeah,
maybe
sounds about
5. I
right.
can't remember.
but I think if you do that, you kind of have to ease yourself in. You have to start with like a 3 day cleanse, so you
Sure,
can
yeah.
your body can see how it would feel, and then after that, I'm sure that a 7 day cleanse would be a lot easier.
And did you feel, because everyone I've talked to who did that, they're like, the mental clarity you get is like insane. Like it's like you're kind of starving yourself, but it also makes your brain just super focused on, is that kind of, or how did you
No,
feel?
I think that's maybe more for a 7 day cleanse. Maybe
Okay,
I didn't
okay.
get that far.
Okay.
But you just feel better. You feel lighter. I think that was the biggest thing with me. You just feel lighter. You feel quicker. I mean, it makes you feel better for sure.
Okay.
But I'm not sure about I another thing too is I drink a lot of energy drinks, so it was kind of hard not drinking energy drinks for 3 days.
Do you drink coffee at all?
I drink coffee. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's like I drink coffee every day, and I can't. If I don't, it just messes up my rhythm. But it's probably a bad thing. It's like I'm addicted to caffeine.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. I'm drinking 2-3 energy drinks a day, and then also a coffee at least a coffee a day.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
caffeine. Is there
It's-
caffeine in that?
Yeah, for sure. 200 milligrams.
He's like, hey,
Yeah.
it's nothing. This is nothing.
Yeah.
And do you guys? I didn't. This wasn't on here, but I'm just curious. Do you guys do? You both seem like fit. Are you like into like fitness at all? Or, you said you
I
coach soccer.
try to be, but I mean, I play soccer 3 times a week. Say
that's pretty
indoor
good.
soccer, so it's
Yeah.
pretty fast. And I go to the gym Monday to Friday, but I don't go there to like lift heavily. I'm older, so it's like you try to work on your the little things.
Yeah. I mean, if you're doing all that soccer, that's a lot of running. I would think.
It is a lot of running, and I still hang with the young cats, so I take pride on that. I take pride on that, man. I'm like, I do. So the gym, I run a lot,
Yeah.
and then I lift just a bit, just to have But that's it. Yeah, that's what I do. And then I coach during school season. So whether it's, I think it's August to November or
Okay.
late August, November. So
What's you said you go to Timbers games and stuff?
we
Are
go
you
to yeah.
Are you fan? Because I don't know much about MLS and then also like the international. But what I always heard from people is that like the MLS is kind of a joke compared to the world.
That's what a lot of people say.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't really follow it. I don't-
I consider myself like I like the Timbers just because we're in Oregon, but
Yeah, it's
I
kinda
don't.
your team.
I don't think I'm like a diehard. Like yes, I'm a diehard Timber fan. But it is a lot different international soccer or other leagues than the MLS. They
Yeah.
just don't have a lot of talent. But that's the home team.
That's what
so
you got. Yeah. Someone was trying to explain it to me a while back of like, yeah, like the MLS is almost like a feeder league to the better leagues, right?
Mhm.
Like they'll, if somebody's really good in the MLS, they'll pluck them out and pull them up to
Mhm.
like the better.
Just like the NBA, I don't know you know much about the NBA, but if you're a good player in Europe or South America,
Right,
they're
come
gonna
over
bring
here.
you to the US
Yeah.
or baseball, right? A lot of Caribbean teams or players,
Yeah. Or
They
even
bring 'em-
Asia or whatever. Yeah.
they bring them to the US, and it's the same thing. It's the opposite for soccer. They send them out because the league isn't very strong here.
I was going to ask you guys about, sports. Because I'm mostly like nowadays, as I get older, into NFL. I'll watch a little NBA now
Mhm.
and then too. But, sorry, this garbage truck's coming here. But I'm curious. Yeah, what do you got? You're into soccer and NBA and stuff.
Yeah, I play soccer. I watch soccer. I don't play I could play basketball. I'm good. I mean, for my height, I'm good.
thinks
Let's
he's
be
good
honest,
at
we're
it.
all the
He's like,
same
come on,
height here.
man.
Yeah, I'm sure, but I get down.
I always tell people I could steal the ball.
And but I watch basketball here and there. Not really though. That's really the only things I do. Football. I don't really understand football.
Really?
hmm But I did try playing it in middle school.
Okay.
But
Like on a team? Or
yeah, the school.
You
school
actually
team.
played on the
Yeah,
team?
the school team.
What position were you playing?
Dude, the guy. I don't even know the positions. The guy that they throw the ball to, and you have to run and.
Running like a running back or something?
You know what's
Or you throw it? I guess you'd be
No,
a
no, no.
receiver.
Dude, I
He
would
was probably
be-
running
I would.
back.
They
It-
would have the plays, and since I was pretty quick, and they're like, okay, well, this is the play we're gonna run. You gotta do this, and they're gonna throw it. You gotta be ready to receive, and you try to make a touchdown. That's all I had to do.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's
I don't know
probably
what position that is.
receiver or running back.
What,
Okay.
What's funny is that we went. Well, you went to Stevens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went to a different middle school, but they're really, really similar. There's a big Hispanic population within that area. So our school was just filled with Hispanics. So I also did football too. So when I did football and we showed up to football practice, none of us knew how to play football. We didn't know anything about football. So they literally had to walk us through like everything.
the
'cause-
rules,
yeah, all the
yeah.
rules and everything. Because we thought it was just I don't know. I don't know. It was a culture shock for us to
Yeah.
do something like that.
Well, it's funny because most people, who are into soccer call football soccer and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It makes sense. It makes sense that we wouldn't know how to play it, I guess.
Yeah, it's a little different for sure, but
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
it wasn't for me at first. I don't have the size, but second, I think I just grew up playing a sport that you're running or constantly playing.
Totally, yeah.
And
There's no stoppage.
And this was stopping, so I was like, okay, we gotta stop and reset. And I was like, okay, well, when are we gonna really play? But that was the play, right?
Yeah.
So, but nothing wrong with football. It wasn't for me. I couldn't do it.
It is
So.
weird. Like it's when I was younger, that's what I didn't like about it. I was like, why are they just stopping and the clock's not going and like it doesn't make any sense. But now it's like, and I think a lot of it has to do with me working in TV. I appreciate like the TV production side. It's almost like a sport that's designed for TV. It's weird.
It's more of a. I feel like it's more of a hype thing, more like a culture thing, like more of a.
Totally, yeah.
Not the sport itself, but the thing that behind the sport.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Well,
Like the
even
vibe, the everything.
even like this last Super Bowl, everyone's talking about Kendrick and everyone's talking about the rivalry with the Chiefs and all that, and Taylor Swift and all that. It's like you're saying, it's like more about the culture around it than
Exactly, because I remember, and I could be wrong, but I do remember when I would go to football games in high school. Even though I didn't know much about football, I would go just because my friends were going, right?
Right.
But then when you would sit in the stadium, you would look around, and everybody was just like talking, not even paying attention to the game.
right.
And then next thing you know, there's a touchdown, and people just go, "Oh!" And then just go back to a normal thing, right? Then you're gonna have the people that really love the sport.
Yeah.
But that's what I noticed. I could be wrong, but it's interesting though. It's interesting. It's a very they know how to market.
They do,
They know
yeah.
how to do the big marketing and how to like.
Yeah. And now they're doing like Netflix games, which is interesting and stuff. But yeah.
I noticed that. But if I were to have a team, I would probably just what team would be? Probably either the Raiders or the 49ers,
Okay. Yeah, the Raiders, I think,
They're
supposed to be shaping up to be like Tom Brady has a part ownership now, but seems like this next year they're getting a lot of good pieces together. And,
But just for the culture though, just because of the
yeah,
jerseys.
Raiders Nation. And all that. Yeah.
You're a 49ers fan though?
Yeah, I love the
Are you?
49ers.
Okay.
He's more, I think he does like, you like more football, right?
Well, I've always liked the 49ers, but recently over the last couple years I've been watching a lot of football since they legalized sports betting in Oregon.
I was just gonna ask, do you guys bet on sports? Because I know
Yes.
people that love doing that.
Yeah,
DraftKings and all
now
that
I
stuff.
go nuts. I had to slow down because it's just addicting. Next thing you know, you're betting on ping pong games across the overseas ping pong games at 2-3 in the morning. I'm like, what the hell am I doing here?
What if you could? Do you guys know Polymarket? Do you know what that is?
I'm not sure what that is.
That's like, it's not legal in the US, but you can literally bet on anything. And like, I don't know, it was just interesting. They've made a lot of predictions like with their percentages that have been totally correct. But you can literally bet on like wars and like all this stuff. It's crazy. And you can bet like a penny, like as much money
hell
as you want.
yeah.
But but yeah, I was gonna ask about the sports thing because it is like you're saying, like I know a lot of people who they'll live stream doing bets and all that stuff, and it's just really interesting that how it's taken off. What do you use, DraftKings or one of those?
DraftKings,
Yeah.
yep. Mm-hmm.
And so if you're doing football, do you bet on just the game or do you players or like how do you?
Well, with football, it was just games. With basketball, over unders and assist and rebounds, and I like basketball betting a little more because there's
more to bet
there's
on.
more to bet on.
Yeah. Do you like Uncut Gems? That movie? That's one of my favorite movies. Have you seen that with Adam Sandler?
I think I started watching it, but I just couldn't. I think it was a slow start, and I think I just couldn't get over that.
A lot of people don't like it because it's depressing and stuff.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I couldn't get.
I
to
never
watching
heard of it, so.
But it's all like
Adam Sandler. Talking about
betting
Adam
on the Celtics.
Sandler, I was super disappointed with him because I love Adam Sandler movies growing up. Movies from like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Waterboy and all that stuff.
All of that. Yeah. And we went to Adam Sandler. I guess it was supposed to be a comedy show.
It was just him, or
the one up here in Portland. I don't know if you remember.
I remember
it was a couple
he came
years
through,
ago.
Yeah.
But it was so disappointing.
Did he do like songs or something? Or?
Yeah, it was supposed to be a comedy show, but it was more of him doing songs. And
what do you mean songs?
Like he was singing, like
it's that old SNL guitar stuff or something.
I don't know if you watched his newest back then. I think it was a couple years ago. It came out on Netflix. A movie about him being like an iguana. It was supposed to be a kids movie.
I don't know if I've seen that.
It's supposed to be a kids movie.
I'll put a poster of it up.
Yeah, you should. No, but he sings throughout that movie, and it is supposed to be a kids movie. And a lot of those songs similar to that was what he was singing in his comedy show. I think it was supposed to be, and it was just like him humiliating himself, and it was just really bad. I went with my wife, and then I had a couple beers, and we ended up leaving early. That's how bad it was.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, wow,
I could see how
that
you'd
was
be disappointed.
disappointing.
Yeah, because it's probably a pretty expensive
Yeah,
show too.
and it was
Yeah.
freaking expensive. Yeah,
Yeah.
to top it off.
I was curious. It's okay if you don't want to say it. What was like the most? Is there like a huge win you ever made on betting that you're comfortable sharing? Like, oh man, I won 50K off this game or whatever.
Off sports bets?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
nothing like that. I
You're
mean,
just more small bets.
with sports bets, yeah, with sports bets, I mean, there's been a couple where I'll bet like $10, and then I've made like $300-400. So I mean, that's big because
It's a good
it wasn't that big of
multiplier.
a bet. But I'm not. I mean, I have buddies that go nuts with this and that do big, huge sports bets, but I'm not. I'm more of volume. I do a lot of small bets versus just big bets.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you don't bet at all, or do you?
No, I don't. No, I can see where you get addicted. Cause I mean,
Yeah.
I think the first time I bet, I was like, you know what? I've never done this. Let me put $10. I got 90. I was like, okay, I can get used to this shit. You know, I was like, maybe I could do this. And then I did another one and I won 70. But I'm like, maybe I could start betting a little bit higher and then start getting more money. But that's the thing. That's when
That's the chase.
That's
that's
how they
when
get
you
you.
say that. That's when you're like, ah, nah. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that. As soon as I said that to myself, I'm like, I think that's how you start getting really deep into it. So, here and there I do hear, but nah, it's very rare, man. Probably once every 2 months or something.
What about like you ever go to Vegas and do that kind of gambling?
No, you know, I've gone to Vegas, but I don't think for the gambling. I
All the other stuff.
just
Yeah.
just drinking, having a good time,
I've only
pool,
ever been to
walking, you know.
work there. Like I've done like video
Okay.
work there.
Yeah.
But I've done the spinners like a little bit, the
hmm
slots, but other than that, I haven't
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I mean, I've done the slots, but just I'm walking in like, oh,
play
put like,
$5 or yeah.
$5, 20, whatever the scenario is. But no, I don't win. I go somewhere. I'm just walking, drinking. But I don't know. I've never really been that type of guy.
Okay.
This
I
guy's the
love
guy.
Vegas, man.
This
I love
guy.
Vegas.
What's
Uh,
your favorite game? You do like table games or like slots or something? Or
Yeah, no, I just do table games. So
poker?
I'll do a lot of blackjack. I like poker as well. I've done a couple poker tournaments.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I love blackjack, and then baccarat and craps.
Okay. You
Yeah,
like
no,
all yeah.
yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. No, I love casinos, man. I don't know what it is about casinos, but I remember the first time I went to Vegas with my wife. I think we probably got there like around 8 o'clock. I don't think we got back to like 6 in the morning because I wanted to see all the casinos. They're all so different.
And they're all like connected. You just like keep walking
Yeah,
through
you just
them.
keep
Yeah.
walking, but they're all so different from each other, and they all just. Uh, I don't even know how to explain it, but I mean,
It
I,
is cool.
I
I was
mean,
like Mandalay
they're all
Bay. I
different
stayed there a lot.
themed. They're all
Yeah.
different themed, and it's just so interesting to me. I just like the architecture in all these casinos.
What do you have like favorites that you
Well,
go
in
to?
Vegas,
Yeah.
Caesar's Palace is probably got to be my favorite. The Bellagio, those two are probably got to be my favorite by far. Um, like that Rome theme.
Yeah, you like the old Greek Roman
Yeah, I mean
stuff.
the detail, the attention to detail that these guys have in these casinos is just amazing.
It is,
Like
yeah.
the moldings on like the walls and I mean everything. I mean
My
the person that created this. I mean the attention to detail is just
yeah.
insane.
It's almost like more better theming than like Disneyland or something.
For
Yeah.
sure.
And
Yeah.
it's funny, I remember being in there once. I think it was Mandalay Bay or maybe it was I feel like it was more something, yeah, Roman or Greek, but the guy I was with was like he's like, imagine if this was like 500 years from now, if somebody found this, they'd be so confused as like, is this like historical or is
Yeah.
like it's like for entertainment or like what the hell is this?
Yeah, true for sure.
But it is like you're saying, it's like they really curate everything with like precision and polish and stuff. It's really cool. All the
Yep.
fountains and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Let me see here. I might get into I have a bunch of ending food questions and stuff I always end with, but I wanted to ask you guys. I wanted to actually get some, but there's a food cart over here that has like I'm guessing you guys have heard or had salsa-getti. You know what salsa-getti?
Mm-mm.
No, I don't know what that is.
Okay. There's a food cart over here that has like it's a Mexican candy that's like what is that stuff called? Tamarind. It's almost
Oh,
like
yeah.
almost tastes like tamarind. But this cart over here will put it in like they call them like salads.
Mhm.
But they're basically like candy infused with like other stuff. Like they have like hot dogs with like gummy candies and stuff like that.
Okay.
And it's just really interesting. I was gonna try to get some salsa-getti so we could try some, but I was just gonna ask if you'd heard of that. But otherwise, let me get into these other. This is a new one. I just had I had a dream a couple days ago because I've been I've been on unemployment. I'm starting to get a new job here soon, so I'm kind of broke. But I had a dream the other night that I was. First of all, I never had a dream where I was hungry. Have you guys ever had a dream where you're hungry?
No, I don't think so.
So that's a first for me. But the
Yeah.
second one, I was hungry for Subway, which was just like, why the hell would
Yeah.
it be? But you guys have never had a dream where you're hungry.
No,
Which is
no,
weird,
no,
right?
no.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna get to my standard ones here. Do you like crunchy or smooth peanut butter? Or maybe you don't like peanut butter.
Crunchy.
Crunchy. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm a team crunchy all day. And do you like the oil or the stir or the no stir kind? You know what I'm
No
talking about?
stir.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Same.
Just the classic crunchy
That's
Jif.
that's what I grew
What
up.
is it called?
that-
Jiffy?
That's what I
Jif
grew
or
up
Jif-
with.
Jif
your
crunchy.
pan or anything.
Yeah, that's what I
crunchy
grew up
Jif.
with, man. That's all
Yeah.
I wanted.
My wife likes creamy.
Yeah.
I think it's disgusting.
Yeah.
I love the crunchy. You got to go crunchy.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite type of French bread? Do you like crinkle cut, regular cut, curly fries, waffle fries?
Curly fries.
Okay.
You said French bread?
French fries.
Oh, French fries. I was like, what is French? Just the regular French fries,
Just
right?
regular.
Just-
Okay.
From where?
From where? Damn,
Yeah.
I don't even know, man.
I was gonna ask you. Yeah. Do you like the what kind of curly fries? The Arby's or like one of the
Jack in the Box.
Jack
I
in the
think is
Box?
fire.
Yeah.
Ah, shit. I think Jack in the Box for
Arby's is
yeah.
okay. I like Arby's too.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's
Trying to
okay. If you
think,
just
yeah.
like the standard, that's all
Yeah,
good.
standard
McDonald's
shit.
fries.
I don't even go to McDonald's, dude. No, I don't go to McDonald's, Burger King.
Really?
Yeah, no.
That's
I-
another one I was asked. What's your favorite? Do you have a favorite fast food at
My
all?
favorite fast food, maybe.
Dave's Hot Chicken.
You guys have the? I think we have maybe one or two up here. I've never tried
Yeah,
it.
we
though.
Yeah,
have
there's
one in
this
Salem.
have chicken.
We have two in Salem. No, one in Salem.
Fast food.
You guys also got the In-N-Out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe In-N-Out.
I don't like In-N-Out.
It's controversial. I'm kind of like I haven't had it in years, so I'm kind of more on that page because everyone's like it's kind of trash.
Well, I'm not like the people that were like, oh, In-N-Out, because you know
This
a
guy
lot
will
of
wait 2 hours in
a
line
lot
for
of people,
In-N-Out.
a lot of people would go to Cali and then would go to In-N-Out. I'm like, I don't really like. It's not a big deal for me. It's just a burger,
It's
right?
another place.
It's just another place.
Yeah.
The only reason is because I don't like McDonald's, Burger King. I don't like that type of food. So I mean, In-N-Out's not that much better, but
Yeah. It is. Isn't it like cheaper? Isn't it like
it's
a
cheaper.
couple dollars? Or
It's
something?
it's a lot cheaper. I feel.
But then, like you said, you're waiting in line for.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I would say In-N-Out. Maybe
Okay. Did you say
not for the hype, just because it's I don't really eat a lot of burgers, and then when I do, I eat that.
Okay.
I would say Dave's Hot Chicken for me.
I gotta try it.
Yeah.
I also have to try. What is the one? Not Popeyes. There's another one they opened up here. What is it called? Chicken fingers or something? Raising Cane's. Have you guys ever heard of them?
Oh yeah, I've
Is
been to
that
that one.
Is
They
that
have
in the mall?
they have one in the mall here in
Okay, I
Portland,
saw it. There's a
downtown
lot
Portland.
of
There's one in the
people-
mall, and then they opened one in Vancouver just
Mm.
recently, but I haven't tried
I
it yet.
saw a lot of people. I've never had it, but
I think it was okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, I like Dave's Hot Chicken a lot better, but I think they're pretty good too.
Okay. Let's say you're getting ice cream somewhere. Do you go waffle cone, regular cone, or a cup? Like in a cup?
Meat waffle cone.
I do a cup.
Okay.
A
I'm in the
cup.
cup too because I hate.
I was
drip.
gonna say cup.
I don't like
damn.
dripping it, but it makes me feel old too.
Yeah.
And what
The
flavor?
cup makes you feel old.
Yeah, it's just like it makes it's like a senior citizen. People get senior. But what flavor are you putting in there?
Shit.
Is it different? A lot of people just change it up and stuff.
I feel like I'm just traditional, man. I don't really get a lot of ice cream, but when I do, what is the one I get? Oh fuck, I don't remember. You go first.
Baskin Robbins has a seasonal ice cream I really like. It's called watermelon ice,
Ooh,
but they don't have it every
Watermelon
year. It's
ice.
every couple of years they'll have it during the summer. But
that-
that's my favorite.
is that
for
like
sure.
the summer sherbet or sherbet flavor?
It's like a sherbet watermelon flavor, and then it's got like chocolate, like they look like the watermelon seeds, and it's like little chocolate
hell
chips
yeah.
or something like that.
That sounds
yeah.
good.
I feel like I might get almond type of ice cream, hazelnut or coconut. It's one of those usually.
That's not good. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really do chocolate too much in ice cream,
Okay.
but
Yeah. Let me see. Do you? Let me go to one of my other ones here. Do you believe in Bigfoot, ghosts, or what was my other one? Aliens. Bigfoot, ghosts, or aliens?
I want to say
Or have you seen anything?
I haven't seen anything, but I feel like I do obviously believe in ghosts, aliens, and Bigfoot. I think I want to say yes, but I don't know. I don't know what
think-
Bigfoot is though. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
I don't think I believe in Bigfoot, but I definitely believe in aliens and ghosts.
Have you seen anything?
I haven't,
crazy?
but
Okay.
I've heard of things, of people seeing things, and I really do believe it.
I've seen one UFO up here, but I'm pretty sure it was like something. It was on like 4th of July, which is obviously kind of like
Yeah.
Maybe it was
weird.
China.
But it was just a real slow moving thing. Um, I was trying to think of other. I don't know. I have seen some weird ghost stuff. Like when I was young, we used to like not break in. We used to sneak into like old hospitals and stuff that
Mhm.
were just you know abandoned. And I remember an elevator went off one time when we were in there, and that was kind of weird. But I think ghosts are the most plausible, right? It seems.
Yeah, I would
So
say.
at the antique shop where we have our booth, John, one of the owners, John and Auntie own it. He was telling us of a couple like ghosts that he's seen within the shop. So the original, they're the second owners. They bought the place from the original owners, but the original owner, he had passed away, and he was in a wheelchair, and he says that people have said that they've seen him in a wheelchair downstairs in like the
Okay.
lower part. But I think that um like Portland, like they have like the underground tunnels. Salem also
Shanghai.
had underground
Yeah.
tunnels. I mean, I think I from the stories I've heard, I believe it for
Yeah.
sure.
There's got to be something.
There's got
Yeah.
to be
It's got
something.
to be something. It's so many years,
Yeah,
generations, a lot of deaths, a lot of different things. You don't know how it's happened,
Yeah.
So much history, and it's not even that old too. I mean,
Hmm.
less than 200 years.
Yeah. Especially on the West Coast,
Yeah,
there's not
the
a lot of
West Coast
old
is,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but still, there's a lot of history. You don't know what happened in those underground or even in those buildings, old buildings. So, I do know that they say that in Salem, there's that tower, the biggest building we have
Hmm.
downtown, that they like hear noises and scare people, people that do janitorial services at night.
Hmm.
That's one of the oldest buildings there. A lot of people don't want to clean there because they've seen or heard shit, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting.
Okay. Is there anything else like that you guys believe in? I did a conspiracy episode once, but I never put it out because it was just kind of like it was
It's
like me and like friends just rambling about stuff.
coming from a Mexican Hispanic household and culture, there's always a lot of things that you come up growing up you hear, right? So, and I feel like the reason why is because there's so much history anywhere between maybe Mexico down south.
Hmm.
I mean, there's buildings there from the 1400s or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but you hear this more on the pockets, right? Like the farm, the countryside of it. The countryside of it, you hear a lot more like, oh, your grandpa was walking by, he saw a person to talk to, and then he turned around and it was a wolf, right? You hear all these stories, but
Hmm.
you don't know if it's true or not,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
But the country's out of the middle of nowhere, so it could be believable or not. But there's so much history and culture of spiritual stuff, right? A lot of things that came from Africa, a lot of things that came, a lot of remedies that Hispanic or Latin culture knows, right? Um, not the book way, not the, medical way, but they
Right.
know remedies, and a lot of these remedies do work, and a lot of them over the years they just kind of disappear or they twist it and it's not the same, and
Mm.
maybe the origin changed, and that way that person doesn't know, right? But everything comes from somewhere, and I do believe half of the stories I hear. The other half, it's just like anything else. But I do hear a lot of stories. I don't know about you, but growing up, you hear a lot in.
I
Yeah, in
bet.
the
Yeah.
in the Mexican community, I don't want to say it's glamorized, but it's respected. A lot of these ghost stories. So a lot of famous like Mexican like folk singers will sing about this kind of stuff and then tell these kind of stories
Hmm.
too
Hmm.
about I mean, there's always like common ones like truck drivers like driving and then seeing someone on the side of the road, and they like stop and give them a ride, and then next thing you know, like he describes them in the next town, and they're like, oh, that guy passed away a couple years ago.
Right.
Or it's just
That's scary.
it's
Yeah.
always very respected, and it's like you don't play around with that kind of stuff when you're Hispanic, for
Yeah.
sure.
No, it's interesting. It makes me think of if I get my Navajo buddy on here, he has a bunch of skinwalker stories. I don't know if you heard that, but that's like old
Uh-uh.
Indian legends
Mhm.
of like, kind of like you said. I don't know if you're talking about
So,
shape shifting and
so
stuff
it's
like that.
yeah, so it's the same thing because
What's shapeshifting?
It's just like humans that can change into animals and stuff like that. And
Okay.
and it's the same thing because their culture, it's the same culture as the Mayans or whatever. It's the
Mhm.
same type of people, and all those stories are very similar. They're the same thing. It was just a different region,
Yeah.
right? So I feel like I do believe in that, right? And especially because Indian tribes are very spiritual and
Mhm.
energy, and so it's the same thing with Hispanic culture before the Spanish took over. That's how it was, right?
Mhm.
So I do believe a lot of the stories, like I said, half I
Yeah.
would say.
There's really cool stuff in there too. Yeah, like I'm a big Ancient Aliens fan, but there's like those like carvings of aliens and stuff, and
There's so
it's
much
crazy.
stuff,
Yeah.
and you're like, what happened to the Aztecs? No one knows. What happened to Mayans? No one knows. So
Right.
it's like
Yeah.
a lot of things.
They just found a thing like a couple weeks ago that I think it's kind of controversial already, but there's like all this underground stuff beneath the
Pyramids.
pyramids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
And they're
is
like, there's all
crazy.
this other stuff down there, and it's like, what?
Yeah, that is very interesting. You heard of that?
Yeah, I saw that.
I love that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get into all that
Really?
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
That's
Yeah.
our side. A lot of people don't know, but yeah, I get into it. It's pretty.
I love it. Yeah. Even Loch
Who do you
Ness
think built the
Monster.
pyramids?
That's a good question. I definitely don't think it was like, I don't know, maybe I'm not that certain, but I was gonna say, I definitely don't think it was just, mass human labor, even though that's kind of the scientific consensus. It just seems like the one thing that trips me up is like all those huge pyramids kind of popped up around the same time around the world, which just
Mhm.
seems kind of strange without
Yeah.
those people having contact with each other.
hmm
They're just like, let's do this at the same time. That seems kind of strange to me, but
That is very interesting, though. Maybe that was, I don't know.
but also like I'm always tripping out over like Easter Island, same type of thing. Those huge face stones things. It's
Yeah.
like I don't know if I subscribe to the whole like levitation powers and all that, but it definitely seems like it would be very difficult to make some of that shit.
I've heard that some people say that giants built pyramids and stuff. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I think I'd more probably believe that there was some other technology that they
Yeah.
had probably, but that'd be interesting. I don't know. It's like we were saying, but they're just finding shit all the time. That's just like
Yep. For
seems
sure.
like we don't know a lot. And even under the ocean, someone was telling me the other day, like, yeah, they're kind of subscribed to the under the ocean UFOs or something.
Yeah. Question for you now. Would you rather go up in space, explore, or in the
Oh,
ocean?
definitely space.
Yeah?
I think
Really? Oh.
the ocean one scares me because of like that sub that like collapsed a couple years ago. I don't know. It's just like it just seems like you're trapped down there. But I don't know.
But let's say you
Like if I
wanna-
was safe.
Yeah, if you were saved, that you had whatever superhuman whatever. It just
Mm, yeah, I
I
guess.
find the deep sea or the ocean very interesting. Just very
I
interesting
guess
because
it could be more interesting because like you're probably more probable to find something. Like it seems like space, you'd have to go way the fuck out somewhere.
true,
Like
true, yeah.
it'd take you like I don't know a lifetime to get out there. But yeah, that stuff's really interesting. I want to do another episode about that stuff. Okay, is there a restaurant or a business you want to shout out in Salem or anywhere? I always give people like, do you have a good meal recently or something you want to
Which one
shout
would it
out?
be?
I don't know.
You don't need out
Mm-mm.
Or it doesn't have to be a restaurant. I guess it could be
a
anything.
place that we go often, maybe.
What do you think?
I know we've been talking about other businesses and stuff already.
There's a few spots, but I don't know. The tortas are good though. Tortas sazon's always good. Tapper used to be good for the Mambas.
They took
You-
our favorite beer out. Have you ever had Mambas?
I don't think so. I was gonna actually bring up beer because I know you guys kind of talk about it. Like you're fans of beer. I'm a huge beer fan, but I don't want to say it's tragic. But
Mhm.
like 6 months ago, I had to quit because I'm pretty sure I had self-diagnosed gout. Like my foot started to hurt really bad.
Yeah.
But I
That is
unashamed,
tragic.
unashamedly, I drink beer almost every day. So that's why I'm like, this sucks. But now I'm on the fucking White Claw, the like strong
Yeah,
White
yeah,
Claw,
yeah.
the 8%.
Okay.
But it did break my heart because I love beer. I love like Oregon has a lot of great local beers, but
Mhm.
I don't think I've had the Mama. Is it Mama's that we say?
Mamba.
Mamba.
Yeah. Who's it by?
It's Gilgamesh, but
Yeah,
it's in Salem.
Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh is based out of Salem, I believe.
It's a
The
local
brewing,
brewery.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're local, but I mean, you'll find them in all the Fred Meyers.
Sure.
So I
Yeah.
mean, it's a big brewery.
What kind of beer is it?
Dude, I don't even know, man. I just like it.
It's like your standard.
It's not
I
a
would-
lager. It's
Pilsner?
like some sort of like
I don't know if it's an IPA. I don't know if I'd consider it an
What's
IPA, but it kind of tastes
It's
like
kind
an
of like it
IPA.
tastes like orange, but then tea or
It's got
Okay.
black tea in it, and
what's
yeah,
the ABV?
dude, I don't know. I just like it. I drink
Okay,
it.
okay, that's okay. I'm putting you on the spot with all these questions.
Yeah, I
It's
was gonna
making
look
me
it.
seem like an alcoholic.
I was
No,
gonna look
it's
it.
alright.
Yeah, I was gonna look it up. Well, so I drink all types of beer, but my go-to beer is just gonna be lager beer. So
Yeah.
your typical, Pilsner like Mexican beer,
Mhm.
Pacifico, Victoria, Modelo,
Mm-hmm.
Black Modelo, because I think that's just that's for the long run. That's like you're
Yeah.
drinking with your friends, nice weather, and IPAs, amber beer, stuff like that. I do like, but it's one or two. Because more than that, I think
he gets violent with
I just get violent, man.
IPAs.
There's
So
strong stuff sometimes.
yeah, I like the amber beer. I would say amber beer, any type of amber ale, stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah.
If I were to go to Portland, because that's what I do in Portland,
Yeah.
at home in Salem, we just keep it
Yeah. The more
calm.
regular stuff. Yeah.
Calm.
hmm
That's kind of, you're pretty much on the same palette. That's kind of what I drink.
Yeah.
Those type of beers, pretty much. But I don't know. What about you? Got a favorite beer?
I'd probably say it's Pacifico.
Yeah.
Specific or Pacifico?
I said Pacifico. Pacifico. Um, depending where I'm at, I'll have different beers. I guess sometimes it's just phases. I know I was drinking Hef for a while, and then Mambas for a while. I think I had for a couple years I was just drinking IPAs, and then they started messing up my stomach. So I'm like, yeah, I got to stay away from
They're
IPAs.
intense.
Yeah.
I remember the
Um,
first time I had one, I was probably like 22 or something, and I was just like, oh my god, this is like the strongest shit I've ever drank.
Yeah, and it's cool though.
And now they're everywhere.
Because sometimes it was cheaper to go out and just drink IPAs
Yeah.
than it was you drink 2 IPAs versus drinking 6 Mexican beers. And
Totally, yeah.
Yes, I mean.
And now they're like, well, I would joke with people up here. It's almost like the only thing you can buy. Like if you go to the store, it's like all IPAs. And,
Yep.
But some of them are crazy. Like I have friends that really like the Boneyard, like 9%.
Oh, Boneyard.
Whatever.
Yeah, Boneyard. I was
Boneyard.
drinking Boneyard for almost a year. Yeah, Boneyards are good.
Those are strong. Okay, I'm gonna do this little. I'm gonna try to start to do this Price is Right game because I don't want to leave you guys leaving here empty-handed, but also, do you guys know Grocery Outlet?
Yeah.
The gross out, some people call it. I'm an unabashed fan of it, but what I want to start to do is like I find this stuff because, like I said, I'm on a budget right now. So I'm gonna let you guys guess the price of this thing, and you can take it either way. But I'm curious if you guys have had these also, because I've never had these, and I just got them last night. You guys had these?
I have.
Okay. So I'm gonna give you 3 guesses. How much do you think I paid for this at Grocery Outlet?
Takis.
$3.99
I want to say you
or
paid
$5.99.
$5.49.
It's way lower, way lower.
Oh shit!
$1.99.
Huh?
$1.99.
You said it already, right?
No,
I
you
didn't.
Oh,
It's-
damn, lower than $5.99. Shit, 99 cents.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah.
You got it. Here you go.
Damn.
Also, it says product of the year 2023, which but I actually like those, so you can just take those. But
No, I
do you like them?
yeah, I like these. I buy the smaller bags.
What is
But,
it?
I mean, the
Oh,
smaller.
it's got a. Oh shit! I never seen these,
No,
dude.
those are good.
I've never-
They actually are really hot. I ate some of them last night. In
I've
a
never
different
had
bag.
them.
Yeah, I drive a lot, so sometimes when I'm driving, I'll have to have some of those to keep me awake.
I didn't even know they made them because I buy the regular Takis, and I was like, I didn't know they had.
Yeah,
these.
I've never seen that.
Okay, I'm gonna just shout out your stuff one more time. Like, where can people find all your stuff? What's the easiest way? Instagram or?
Instagram, YouTube. Instagram's gonna be El Podcast Salem. YouTube's gonna be the same thing, El Podcast Salem. If you go into our Instagram, you'll find a link to our YouTube.
Okay.
We got TikTok
Yeah, we have
too as
TikTok.
well.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
on TikTok.
I'm not on there.
No.
What do you guys think about?
It's a little different. Different type of people that follow that content is different from the people on Instagram.
Yeah,
So
like I like a lot of TikTok content, but it's just
it's
I've never
different.
got into it.
The
so-
videos have to be different, a little different than
Yeah.
the Instagram. I didn't focus too much on it, but then the last maybe 2 months kind of have, and it's growing pretty rapidly. We still don't have a lot of followers on TikTok, but yeah, we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube. So at Podcast Salem, subscribe and follow there. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. But yeah, I try to do Instagram and TikTok different type of content
Yeah,
in
yeah.
a way, and then he tries to do YouTube different type of contact that you haven't seen on our Instagram. That way, not all three are the same, and
Yeah, it's
people are like,
all
"Oh, I follow you
variety.
on TikTok and Instagram, and it's the same video, right?"
Yeah, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I'll put all the links below and stuff, and you guys check them out. Yeah, thanks guys for coming. You're always
Yeah,
welcome
for
back.
sure.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Definitely, man. Thank you for having us. It's been a good time, and probably just hang out in Portland for the rest of the day. It's a sunny day.
it is.
It's a
Yeah,
nice sunny
yeah.
day.
All right, thanks guys.
Yeah, thank you.